work as high beam, low beam, and then it's the turn signal, right turn signal, left turn signal, and they also function as four-way flashers. All the lenses have no condensation, no moisture, they're all functional. Red in the rear, amber everywhere else. We're going to step back, we're checking for any fluid leaks. We don't see any fluid leaks. The hoses are wired tense, and the truck is not leaning to either side, indicating a suspension problem. If they ask you what type of fluid leaks, it would be coolant, oil, power steering, windshield washer fluid, and hydraulic fluid. Now we're going to come to this side. Remember, on this truck, the battery's on the passenger side. So you will lift the seat. You will lift it up and the seat cover. So you would say the battery box is secure with nuts and bolts. The cables have no exposed wires and your connections have no excessive corrosion. Somebody open the hood for me. Remember that for this truck, you have to unlatch. It's already unlatched. All you have to do is lift it. So you have to unlatch it, that one, and you have to open it from the inside, just like our car. Remember that for this truck, there's nothing here. If you have the Volvo, then you will start with the coolant reservoir here. Now we're going to focus everything on the driver's side. Main air valve. Hoses are secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no air leaks. Coolant reservoir. It's not cracked or broken, secure with nuts and bolts. It is transparent because I can see the maximum and the minimum mark. If I need to add coolant, I will remove the cap and add the coolant. Cap is secure, not missing. Hoses are secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no coolant leaks from the hoses or the coolant reservoir. Oil dipstick. I will pull it out, clean it, reinsert it, take it back out, make sure it's at the refill mark, and if I need to add, I would add it at the oil intake. This is our power steering reservoir. It is secure with nuts and bolts, not cracked or broken. It is transparent because I can see the maximum and the minimum mark. If I need to add, I will remove the cap and add the power steering. Cap is secure, not missing. Hoses. Secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no power steering leaks from the hoses or the power steering. Remember, your Volvo is not transparent, so you would check it at the dipstick. We have the steering gear box, not cracked, bent, or broken, secure with nuts and bolts. Hoses are secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no power steering leaks. For the steering linkage, it consists of the pitman arm, drag link, and the steering knuckle. They are not cracked, bent, or broken. They are secure with castle nuts, and what goes through is a cotter pin. All the joints and sockets are not worn or loose. The rubber piece is the bushing. Bushings are not missing, ripped, frayed, and properly lubricated. Then we're going to go to the suspension. Spring mount, not cracked, bent, or broken, secure with nuts and bolts. The leaf spring, securely mounted, not missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. They are held by U-bolts that are not cracked, bent, or broken, secure with nuts and bolts. Shock absorber is not cracked or broken, secure with nuts and bolts, and it's not leaking hydraulic fluid. We're going to go to our braking system. Brake hoses are secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no air leaks. Inside the tires, the brake drum and lining, there is no cracks, dents, or holes, no loose or missing bolts, not contaminated with any debris, oil, or grease, and the lining is not worn dangerously thin, no less than a quarter inch. If you have the Volvo, then we have disc brakes. It consists of caliper pads and rotor. Now we're going to go to our tires. So the tires are properly inflated to manufacturer specification. I would check it at the valve stem with an air gauge. This valve stem is missing a cap, but it's not broken or leaking air. The condition of the tire has no abrasion, bubbles, or cuts to the sidewall or the thread, and they're the same type of tire. Minimum depth tread on the steering axle is 432. All other ones are 232. We would check it with a tread depth gauge, and these tires cannot be recapped. Rim, not bent, cracked, or broken, no welding repairs. All the lug nuts are present. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. There is no rust trail, shiny threads indicating looseness, and there is no cracks around the bolt. Traffic monitoring device secured with a bracket, no loose fittings, so you can say secure with nuts and bolts. The mirror itself is not cracked, no chips, no illegal stickers, and it's adjusted for me, the driver. Turn signals, not cracked or broken. The lenses have no condensation, no moisture, they're functional. Red in the rear, amber everywhere else. If they ask you the functions, turn signals and four-way flashers. Fuel tank has no dents or damage. It is secure with straps. The cap is tight and secure. Fuel lines are secure at both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no fuel leaks from the fuel line, the cap, or the fuel tank. And you would say the same thing for the DEF, but you would change it to DEF. For this one, you would say that the DEF tank is secure with nuts and bolts. Frame and the cross members. There's no cracks, no illegal welds, no holes or other damage. Front to back, side to side. Remember the airbag, it just depends on your examiner. Airbag has no abrasion, no bubbles, no cuts, properly inflated, not leaking air. Airbag mount is secure on both ends, not cracked or broken, secure with nuts and bolts. Now we're going to continue with the coupling. So we're here, we're going to go. Red is the emergency, blue is the service. They're secure with glass hands that are connected to the trailer, locked in place. In between is the seal that is not ripped, fray, or leaking air. The green one is your electrical. There is no exposed wires. The electrical plug and the pins inside are not broken or missing, and it is secure with a latch on both ends. So airlines and electrical are not cut, spliced, they're not pinched, dragging, or touching any part of the vehicle. In the back, kingpin is not cracked, bent, or broken. The safety latch, the locking jaw is not cracked, bent, or broken, and it is fully closed around the kingpin. There is no gap between the apron and the skid plate. The apron is not cracked, bent, or broken. Skid plate with the tongue, securely mounted, no broken or missing bolts or pins, and is properly lubricated. Release arm, not cracked or broken. It's in the engage and lock position with a safety latch. Sliding fifth wheel and the locking pins that are inside are not cracked or broken. Remember the Volvo, the locking pins are in the engage and lock position. Sliding fifth wheel airline, it is secure on both ends, free of abrasion, bubbles, and cuts, and there is no air leaks. The platform that supports the fifth wheel is not cracked, bent, or broken. It is secure with all mounting bolts that are none missing. Sliding fifth wheel is positioned properly so the tractor frame has enough clearance between the landing gear and the mud flaps during turns. Now we're going to go to the trailer. So we have front and side marker lights with the reflectors not cracked or broken. The lenses have no condensation, no moisture. Red in the rear, amber everywhere else. DOT reflector tape all across, secure, visible, and not missing. The landing gear, the legs, the pads, and the crank handle is not cracked or broken. It is secured with nuts and bolts. The leg is in the full race position. Crank handle is stowed and secure. Frame and the cross members. No cracks, no illegal welds, no holes or other damage. From front to back, side to side, no missing floor holes. Sliding chassis, not cracked or broken. The other one will say it has nuts and bolts, so you say secure with nuts and bolts. The release arm and the locking pins are in the engage and lock position. Now we're going to go to the back. So we have all the lights not cracked or broken. Lenses have no condensation, no moisture, they're all functional. Red is here, amber everywhere else. The functions: right turn signal, left turn signal, four-way flashers, brake lights, ID lights, running lights when they're on, your reflectors, and your ABS. The DOT reflector tape is secure, visible, and not missing. Oh, I forgot just in case they ask you, will be your license plate. And that's all for DMV.